Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you the process of me finishing this December daily album. This is the second part of finishing last year's album, and you can find the first part on my channel and also a playlist of all the videos regarding this album here. And I'm very happy and excited that I finally finished this album here, and I started it in December last year, so 2024, and I think I did very well on doing a lot of pages in December last year, but I had some pages left that I now did in the year of 2025. And now it's autumn and the new collection has released, and this always motivates me to just finish the old album. And as you can see, this album is very full and packed with a lot of great stories and pages, and I'm overall very happy with it. And in this video you will see the process for the last pages. So in this video you will see the process videos for stories 22, 23 and 24. And usually I go with my stories until the 26th of December. Sometimes a little bit more if I'm doing something special in the days after Christmas. But this time I decided to just leave it by story 24. I did also fun things on the 25th and 26th, but this album is very full, and I think it's just fine and enough because there are lots of stories in here, and I think it is fine with this album to just stop at 24. And maybe this year I'm going to be telling more stories like 25, 26. I'm not very sure, and yeah, you will now see how I did all the pages here. So I started with my table of contents, and this was the first year that I did this idea, and I used the circle die cuts, I think even from the year before. They were part of the main kit, and they are numbered and had this gold border, and I think it looked very cute. And because I am not the biggest fan of my own handwriting, and sometimes I had a lot to say, I just used the sticker paper and I set up my file with these circles, and then I just added the topics of each day to the circles, and then I used my die cutting machine to really cut out the circles. I also could have used my silhouette, but this way it was a lot easier for me, and sometimes it is really fun to just use my cutting machine, my Big Shot cutting machine again, because it feels a little bit old school. This was the way I had cut out my things before I had my silhouette, and yeah, it just feels a little bit more back to the roots. And then I just used my circles to put them down on my table of contents, and I think it looks very good. You can not see the borders because the circle really matched, and it looks like I printed it on the circles. And I think you can see it in my foundation page process videos how I made this page, so check that video out if you are interested. So next up was story 13, and I already had prepared some things, so I only needed to really finish this story. I already had done this little see-through card that you can see on the top, and I used my sewing machine to adhere the number and also the vellum light bulbs that kind of hang on the top, and I just kept it simple. So I only had a small and short story for 22, and I really wanted to use up some things from the kit because I already knew I had ordered the new kit from this year, and I had this gorgeous pen and paper left, and I really wanted to include it because I also had elements with the ornaments in the whole album, and I think it's so cute. when things match inside of your album and you have kind of these repeating elements. So I wanted to use it as a base, the pattern paper as the base of my story. And I also had this little textile sticker. I think it was from the advent calendar. And I also wanted to use this up. So I had this little tag where then my story was, so the journaling and the photo. And then I use, as I said, the pattern paper as a base. And I wanted to have a little fun interactive piece. So you can see there, I wanted that the tag was on the side peeking out and you could just pull it and then you would see the stories. So I kind of did that. And sometimes I'm constructing things very well. And this time I just made this little inside pocket just with my double-sided tape, but it would have been a better way to just make a little inside pocket with paper, so my tag would slide a little bit easier. In the end it is fine, but it could be a little smoother. But to be honest, I just was a little bit lazy because I wanted to get things done. These were the last pages and I really want this album to just be done. So as the last step, I just added my ornament sticker in the middle and then I searched for a number, and I'm really a big fan of number stickers because they are really flat and do not add bulk anymore to my album. So for story 23, I just repeated a design that I had, I think, in story 7. I had this little tree die cut and I used a zigzag stitch with my sewing machine to adhere to my transparency. And this story was also a little bit short. I did not have journaling for it because it was just the day before Christmas and I was home, and as you can see on the photo, I was just working on my December daily, having free time, and my cat joined me. So it was really a cozy and nice day, and this is what my story 23 is about. And I also wanted to repeat this little frame that I already used in other stories in this album. So this frame was still left and it matched perfectly with just this photo here. And I had hit my photo and then I thought about how could I add my number, and I just searched my stash and had different numbers here. And I also thought about using stickers again, but I'm also a fan of mixing things up a little bit, and I decided to use this plastic piece here with the white 23 on it. And I could have also used my sewing machine again to adhere it, but I was in the mood for using my stapler. And one thing I always do using staples to reduce the bulk is to take my scissors or another tool, you can use whatever you like, to just push down the staple pieces so it is a little bit more flat. And then I also adhered this little paper die cut piece on the back of my tree because I thought the sentiment matched my story very well. And then I only had to adhere my pattern paper on the back of story 24 because I already had prepared it and I knew what I wanted to do on story 4, and I think it was also finished while I did my foundation pages, and I think you can also see it in my foundation page video. And as you can see, I really missed that my pattern paper was a little bit shorter, so I had to re-adhere it again and then trim the edges a little bit, but it worked out just fine. And I also wanted to adhere a little tab sticker, so I just pushed it right in the corner. So So I like to use double-sided tape, and the one I have is not the most sticky, so I always have a little bit of time and room to just re-adhere things. And I think I also used a little staple to just secure my little tab on the top. And then it was a little bit difficult to center my photo with the frame on the pattern paper because the transparency was actually a little bit shorter than my pattern paper. So I had centered my paper tree in the center of the transparency, and it was not the center of then my pattern paper, but I think I just did fine. I think it is not really annoying me too much, and it looks very nice. So on to my last story of this album. I only did 24 stories this time. Sometimes I do 26 and even sometimes 31. It just depends on my motivation and the year and the stories I have to tell. So you can already see that I did the base with big stamping with a sentiment that I really loved last year. And I think it was such a fun technique to just use some stamps and color. And as you can see, I used this little tag on the right with the pocket that came in, I think also the main kit, for my journaling. And on the left side, I just used a photo from my cat under the tree. It was very cute how he likes to sit there. And that was pretty much it for this part. So I just added a little chipboard and also number stickers. I thought about what other embellishments I wanted to add to this page, but I think in the end I'm just using the white chipboard piece that's really a little bit more subtle, because the bold stamping in the red, I think it's enough. And on the back of the page, which really is my last page of the album, I just did a little photo collage because I had lots of photos from Christmas Eve, and I think it's also a nice story to see all the photos. These are photos from prepping dinner and my cat laying around and putting our presents under the tree and then eating dinner. Really a nice evening, and I just added the large chipboard piece that said Christmas, and then I checked how bulky my album was. And as you can see, I finally decided for some gold number stickers because they did not add any bulk and they were pretty flat. And then I just added this chipboard piece. This was the last bulky piece that I added into the album, but I think it matched so well with the rest. And this is my final album. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm very excited to step into the new December daily season with you. And there will be a flip through video of this album here, and also new videos for the 25 album. I hope you enjoy my videos, and if so, please consider subscribing or leaving a comment. It means a lot to me, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!